In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on November 3rd, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Boston College versus Syracuse. In a clash between 2 former Big East schools, now Atlantic Coast Conference rivals, the Boston College Eagles are set to hit the road and take on the Syracuse Orange in a Friday night gridiron showdown in the Empire State. Boston College is coming off a 21-14 home win against UConn in their last outing, but failed to cover the 14.5-point spread as favorites. Syracuse, on the other hand, was dealt a harsh 38-10 loss on the road by Virginia Tech in their previous game, falling short of the 2.5-point underdog spread. In the historical series between these teams, the Orange hold a 33-22 edge and have emerged victorious in their last 2 meetings, including a 32-23 road triumph on November 26, 2022. The Boston College Eagles have Atlantic Coast Conference accumulated a 5-3 record this season, securing a 21-14 victory against UConn in their most recent matchup. After an initial 7-0 deficit, the Eagles rallied with 21 consecutive points to clinch the win. They outgained UConn by a substantial margin, totaling 433 yards compared to UConn's 222, though they did commit 2 turnovers. During their current 4-game winning streak, Boston College has also conquered Georgia Tech, Army, and Virginia. The Eagles' offense has been averaging 28 points per game, with 205.6 passing yards and 213.8 rushing yards per game, while converting 44.4% of their third downs. Thomas Castellanos has been their quarterback, tallying 1,549 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, while also contributing 673 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Ty Robichaux has rushed for 495 yards and 6 scores, with Lewis Bond catching 31 passes for 437 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Boston College defense has been allowing an average of 28 points per game this season. The Syracuse Orange stand at 4-4 for the year, but they're coming off a 38-10 loss to Virginia Tech in their most recent game. Syracuse found themselves in a 23-0 hole in the second quarter and were unable to mount a comeback. They were outgained 528-137 and failed to convert any of their 9 third down attempts. Syracuse has also suffered losses to Florida State, North Carolina, and Clemson during their 4-game losing streak. The Syracuse offense has been averaging 26 points per game, with 220.3 passing yards and 146.1 rushing yards per game, while converting 42.2% of their third downs. Quarterback Garrett Schrader has thrown for 1,508 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, adding 316 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns this season. LaQuint Allen has contributed 553 rushing yards and 7 scores, with Damian Alford catching 24 passes for 389 yards and 1 touchdown. The Syracuse defense has allowed an average of 24 points per game this year. In their previous meeting with the Orange in Chestnut Hill, Boston College emerged victorious, and the Eagles have shown their prowess on the road recently, winning 2 of their last 3 games against the spread. The Eagles' offense has averaged over 30 points per game in their last 3 road games, indicating their ability to score quickly and efficiently, which could pose a significant challenge for Syracuse. The Orange, in contrast, have endured 4 consecutive defeats against the spread, including a home loss to the Clemson Tigers, with each of their last 3 games resulting in losses by a margin of 28 points or more. Syracuse has been plagued by both sloppy and ineffective play, evidenced by penalties on 3 of their first 5 offensive plays and gaining only 62 yards in the first half of their last contest against Virginia Tech. Syracuse has faced a tough stretch with 4 consecutive losses in Atlantic Coast Conference play, with a combined score of 150-34 against their conference rivals. They've consistently allowed at least 31 points in each of those games, while failing to surpass 14 points in any of those losses. Syracuse's struggles in slowing down opposing teams have continued, and facing a Boston College team with momentum and a potent run game doesn't bode well for the Orange. Orange. The Eagles have secured 4 straight wins and have excelled in running the ball, averaging 268.5 rushing yards per game during their winning streak. Although Syracuse might be given the home advantage, they are in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, and laying chalk on a team in such a situation might not be the best choice. Syracuse may have played 3 consecutive games on the road, but they still appear to be a below-average team no matter how you evaluate their performance. Boston College, on the other hand, has demonstrated their ability to win, having secured 4 straight victories, including 2 on the road. The success of Boston College on the road this season, combined with Syracuse's struggles and consistent scoring, strongly supports a Boston College victory. Look for Castellanos and Wagertalk to lead the charge as Boston College aims for a 5th consecutive win. So the Boston College Eagles to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In terms of the total points, Boston College has seen the over hit in 7 out of 8 games this season. In their 3 road games, they've exceeded the total every time, including a combined 84 points in a game against Louisville on September 23rd. Conversely, Syracuse has remained under the total in 6 of their 8 games this season. 3 out of 4 home games for Syracuse have also fallen short of the mark, including each of their 3 games against Football Bowl subdivision opponents. The previous 2 games played between these 2 teams in Syracuse resulted in a low total, with only 56 points scored in total during those contests. Syracuse has fallen under the point total in 6 of their last 7 games overall, including the last 3 at home. Syracuse's offense has been struggling, scoring 14 points or less in each of their last 4 games. The Orange have dropped out of the top 100 teams in the country in terms of average points scored per game and average yards gained per game, making it less likely that they'll score rapidly against the Boston College defense. Syracuse's defense has been more resilient at home than on the road this season, allowing an average of only 18 points per game at the JMA Wireless Dome compared to an average of 35 points per game on the road. Meanwhile, the Boston College defense has been effective lately, conceding 24 points or less to their opponents in each of their last 4 games. The Eagles are content with controlling the clock, and the Orange have struggled to score consistently in conference play. Given the stats and trends, a lower scoring game in Syracuse is highly likely. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Colorado State versus Wyoming. Mountain West action is set to kick off on Friday night as the Colorado State Rams hit the road to face the Wyoming Cowboys. Both teams are eager to snap 2-game losing streaks, with the ultimate goal being to secure 6 wins for bowl eligibility. The Cowboys enter this matchup as the favorites, with a 7-point spread in their favor. They have an impressive 5-0 record at home this season, which has likely contributed to their favored status. However, it's worth noting that 3 of Wyoming's 5 home wins this year have been decided by margins of 5 points or less, and they haven't defeated any Football Bowl subdivision team by more than 9 points. Conversely, Colorado State has often been cast as the underdog, with recent games seeing them as plus 7.5, plus 6.5, and plus 14.5 underdogs, 2 of which were home games. Last week, they faced an undefeated Air Force team as plus 14.5 underdogs and ended up losing 30-13 as Air Force pulled away in the second half. Notably, Colorado State failed to score in the final 30 minutes of the game. However, in previous games where they were underdogs by about a touchdown, the Rams managed to cover the spread. They lost 25-23 at UNLV as plus 6.5 underdogs and defeated Boise State 31-30 as plus 7.5 underdogs, bringing their against the spread record to 3-1 this season as single-digit underdogs. In their upcoming game, the Rams once again find themselves as single-digit underdogs. If they play with precision and protect the football, they have the potential to cover the spread effectively. In the 2022 matchup against Wyoming, the Rams lost 14-13, but they comfortably covered the plus 8.5 spread as home underdogs. While playing on the road presents a different challenge, Colorado State has demonstrated a strong ATS record of 3-1 in away games this season, going undefeated as underdogs. They haven't lost by more than 8 points when cast in the role of road underdogs. This week, they are getting 7 points, and considering their opponent's offensive profile, this makes Colorado State an attractive choice. Colorado State struggles defensively, ranking 132nd in opponent completion percentage, 121st in opponent yards per pass, and allowing nearly 300 passing yards per game. Fortunately for the Rams, Wyoming's offense ranks 93rd in completion percentage, 123rd in yards per pass, and 124th in passing yards per game. These statistics almost negate Colorado State's defensive weakness, making them appealing as underdogs. However, Wyoming's offense excels in yards per point, ranking 20th in the nation in that category. It's essential to note that most teams ahead of them in this category are currently ranked in the top 25, making Wyoming an exception. This raises questions about the sustainability of their offensive performance, especially since Wyoming hasn't covered as favorites throughout the season, despite maintaining a 3-0 straight-up record in those games. The inability to create substantial separation can be attributed to their poor passing numbers and defensive struggles against the run. Wyoming allows opponents to rush for an average of 5 yards per carry and 191.9 rushing yards per game, ranking 116th in the nation. Their opponent third down conversion percentage is a concerning 48.51%, ranking 125th, allowing nearly 1 in 2 third downs to be converted. It's important to note that Colorado State isn't known for their rushing attack either, averaging just 2.8 yards per carry, which ranks 124th in the country. This means that Wyoming's defensive shortcomings may not be as exploitable in this matchup. The high opponent third down conversion percentages for both teams indicate that they struggle to get off the field when needed. Colorado State's run defense should be sufficient to help their defense more effectively deal with third down situations. While Wyoming's offense is expected to improve, it might not be enough for them to win by a significant margin, particularly since they have only achieved this once against Football Bowl subdivision competition this season. Wyoming's strengths at home have also not translated into dominant victories. Both Wyoming's home games and Colorado State's road games this season have typically been tightly contested. It's likely that Colorado State will score at least 27 points, as they've done in all 4 of their road games, and Wyoming allows an average of 28 points per game. While Colorado State's defense has its struggles, their pass attack is effective, and Wyoming's pass defense is good but not exceptional. Wyoming's offense appeared lackluster in their last game, and even though they should improve, it's doubtful they will blow out Colorado State. A close game is anticipated, and Colorado State should be able to keep it within a field goal. So the Colorado State Rams to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. As for the total points, the number is currently below 43, which seems too low. Despite the questionable offensive profiles of both teams, the game is expected to exceed this total. The high opponent third down conversion percentages for both defenses suggest the potential for more points. While the teams may not fully exploit the defensive weaknesses, the current total appears to be too conservative. This game should likely finish with more than 42 points. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.